All right, update May 17th, 2022. My current setup right now, I have a JVC head unit. It's a KW V130 Bluetooth. Basic operation, gets the job done. It kind of have a Frankenstein configuration for like what I'm using for front door speakers. I have yet to build out a slot for this, but this is basically a bullet speaker, 500 watts, really good tweeter. I believe that's by Boss Audio. Really heavy too. This is a DD Audio 6x9. Obviously the stock 2005 F-150 doors came with 6x8s. So I kind of had to jerry-rig that one in there, but it works temporarily for the time being. I am going to tweeter this area, and you can see that I have drilled slots up here for additional tweeters that I'm going to put up there. Just some sticky tweeters. As far as the rear, I'm working with 215s right now. These are totally reconed, rebuilt American-based Godfather subs. So pretty much sundown soft parts, an 88-pound Godfather motor, which is the hardware. So both subs each individually are 3,500 watts RMS, so about 7,000 watts total. That's their output rating. That's obviously give or take. But I only have a DD M4B 5,000 watt amp powering them, and that's a 5,000 watt RMS rated amp. So, and I know this thing's been rated above 6, but all I can tell you is, you know, my gain levels and my subsonic and everything are pretty much set as high as I feel comfortable setting them. Right around 3/4 turn on the gain, but that is plenty. I can't even get max volume on my head unit, which isn't, which has no dB. So I'm running everything off of a USB drive, so no Bluetooth when I'm running the speakers for bass purposes. Back here, so really the big 3 that I have isn't really a big 3, more like a big 2.5. But I have an AGM battery. I think this one I picked up at Menards for like, I don't know, 180 bucks. It was the biggest one they had though. I know people play around with, you know, the total amperage it produces, and, you know, relative to how many watts, you know, they can support, but I'm kind of going off of a whim here. So maybe I'll add another battery if I start having clipping issues, but I have not yet. And I think the key when it comes to car audio, when you're just starting out, is just get your wiring, your grounds, and your battery set up. So as you can see, the terminals on that thing, pretty heavy duty. They all accept 0 gauge. I got 1 0 gauge wired in there, actually 2. So I basically have the amp grounded twice, and I have the actual battery back here grounded as well. And of course, anytime you ground a battery, make sure that the first power wire running into that from the amp has a fuse. So I have actually 2 fuses, 1 for each channel on this amp, running directly to the AGM battery back here. So all this wiring has got to come from some spot, which is going to be underneath the bonnet. So the reason why I don't say big 3 is because it isn't. I have not done shit to the alternator. That is a stock alternator. I got my power wire running in from underneath the driver's side dash, coming all the way around, looping back around, and then I have the same terminals on another AGM battery. I think I picked this one up at O'Reilly's for about 200 bucks. But as you can see, I also have this fused with a 200 watt fuse as well. So ultimately, you get everything, you know, wired up here using 0 gauge as much as possible. You get your stock powers connected as well as your stock grounds. And then of course you ground it wherever you can within reason with a 0 gauge just to top it off. And of course run your power wire to your amp to maximize total amperage and stability, continuity across the voltage that you're trying to maintain. But that's basically it. So wiring, 2 batteries, amp, secure grounds, and I haven't had an issue.